Best new construction community in South Florida? Well, it's right there. Today we are checking out the overall community of the nicest master plan community in South Florida, the nicest master plan community in Palm Beach, and that would be Avenir. I'm at the back end of Avenir. In fact, I've never really been here. This is the end. I'm right near the entrance. They've got nice ponds here. And in this video, I'm going to go over not just the individual communities, which I've done many of them in the past. You have to come back to our channel for that. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the overall, all-encompassing community of Avenir in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. My name is Fernandez. I'm living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button there over in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is help notify each time we put out a new video. We put out new videos every single week. So if you're wondering what it's like to eat, sleep, and drink here in Palm Beach, Florida and South Florida, this is a channel for you. 17 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of the world we call South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honored to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. So if you're thinking about moving to this area, if you're considering it, and you have questions, and you want to have questions answered by people who have actually done it before, there's a couple ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But literally, two of the best ways is in the description and the comment section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll schedule some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. We've helped so many people relocate to Florida, and we absolutely love it. This is possibly the best new construction community in all of Florida. I think it's the best in this area. When I say this area, I mean South Florida. I mean up through the Treasure Coast. Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we do relocations, not just here in our area, but all around. So if you're interested anywhere in Florida, reach out to our team. We have people around the state that can help you relocate to this part of the world we call Florida. In our area here in South Florida, there are 3 master plan communities that are sort of getting most of the attention. This is one of them. Here at Avenir in Palm Beach Gardens, this is the highest end of those 3, and there's for good reason. It is a little bit more money to live here in Avenir in Palm Beach Gardens. I've spoken about this community many times before. I've run into people that have not used us, that have lived here, that have not liked it here. So, one of the things, if you move to the wrong place, that's what you want to avoid. That's a mistake. We've done plenty of videos recently on avoiding mistakes. If you want to do that, you should be working with a relocation team that can help you find the right area, because Avenir, although it's great, might not be the area for you. Having said that, if I was to move to a new area now today, this is the area I would strongly consider. And one of the things that people don't realize that do move here that might be disappointed is that it's going to be a little bit of time before this area actually develops. I've heard, like right here, we have that's North Lake. That is the main road going through this area. We're on Avenir Drive. You can tell by the glorious entrance. This is an entrance that's public. In there are several sub-communities. We have covered a lot of them, and you go back to our videos on our channels of some of them. Just to name a few, there's La Tierra, there's Coral Isles, there's Avondale, which is the hot one now, but there are several, and there's one coming up that's opening up. By the time you see this video, it's probably will be just opened, but there are several sub-communities, and each one has a different personality. It's really up to you to do your homework and figure out which one is the right one for you and your family. I did a video way back when this community first started. It's called the Avenir, the Early Days. That's the title I've changed it to, because back then it was the early days. When this place first started, Over there were the only communities. It was Watermark and Wingate. Those are all age communities within Toll Brothers, within Avenir. Watermark is 100% sold out. Of the two, that is the higher end. We've had people that have gone in there when they were getting ready to close out, basically buying at a little bit over $1 million. Their other community is, I believe they have 1 or 2 homes. By the time you see this, it's likely they don't have any homes. And in Wingate from a budget standpoint is a little bit lower. And also Toll Brothers, shortly thereafter, built a community called Regency. Before this video, I put out a video on Regency. It's a 55 and older community. It's currently the only 55 and older community here at Avenir. Each of these communities have different personalities. Each of these communities have different price points. The community back here, which is also one of the newer ones, is called Coral. That's one of the highest end. So if you're considering Coral, you'll need about $2 million. You don't need $2 million for everywhere here in Avenir, but if you were considering that community, that is what you would need. Basically, the homes there are $2 to $3 million when all is said and done. The lots of land in there, I know of a lot of land that went for several, call office if you want to know exact. I know a lot of land that went there for several hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I will say this, don't get caught up in the price of land, because what you should do when you're looking at homes in new construction, you should really owe it to yourself to look at what the price is overall, lot and home. Because sometimes people miss out on some of the best deals because they get too hung up in what the price specifically is for that land lot. We know this stuff. We are a new home co-broker. We work with all the builders. We have strong relationships with all the builders, and new construction is our game. If that's something you're considering, you owe it to yourself to reach out to us. We basically provide you guys independent representation. If you walk into a sales center on your own, they likely will not allow you independent representation if you come on your first visit without someone like us. So more on that later, but I will say this, it's the builder who pays us, so that to use someone like us, there comes nothing that comes out of your pocket. We provide a lot of value. Again, more on that. Here at Avenir, listen, we've sold in every single community here. There is a community in the back, which is just opening. I went to a Dusty Boots tour. This is going back about maybe 5 months ago now. It's called Panther National. And it's that community alone, which I think is gonna provide great value to this entire area. The homes there are selling. There's like less than 200 homes, about 200 homes. And the price tag is anywhere between $5 to $20 million. Needless to say, there's a lot of customization in there, so you can really customize the home to what you want. Obviously, you need a bigger budget, but if you are living next to a $5, $10, $15 million home, and you're buying a home right next door in Avondale for about $1 million, I think that the market value has a good chance of sustaining itself in the long run. So I talked about it could be a mistake. If you come here and you don't know what you're getting yourself into, I'll tell you one thing. You can see the traffic's pretty aggressive back here, right? There's a lot of construction stuff. So we will help you navigate how to, like each lot in this development is going to be very different. There are going to be some that are quieter than others. We'll help you with that. There's water lots. There'll be more money. If you go strictly by price tag, you might make a mistake. You owe it to yourself to work with someone who understands the ins and outs of all the communities here in Avenir. Okay, I'm going to go through the communities a little bit one by one and what some of the makeup of it. Now, mind you this, if you work with the builder directly, they're not going to tell you this, but I will, because living in Palm Beach, Florida, I'm okay with you buying something apart from the builder. We do also secondary, we work in the secondary market as well. If you walk into one of the builders and there are existing homes for sale that have been purchased in the past and now resold, they're not going to tell you that. We will. We want what's best value for you. So that's one of the other reasons why you should use a relocation team like ours here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. So despite the fact that Watermark is sold out, there are homes in there for sale. What you want to know about that community is there is one model in particular that was by far their most popular. It's called the Jennings model, and it is a beautiful home. It is one of their higher end models. You didn't really see the higher end homes models were in Watermark and not really in Wingate. But anyways, if you're looking in that, it's one of the things in Watermark, that's one of the things you want to know. Behind us down this way is the Avenir clubhouse that is going to serve this part of Avenir. There's another part of Avenir that's going to have a second clubhouse. More on that later. That's just because we're just getting in on the ground floor here. When all is said and done, there are going to be 3,950 homes here in Avenir in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. The place where we're having a bit of a success now, we're getting a lot of phone calls from in Avenir now, is Avondale. I've done a video on Avondale. Go check it out when you get a chance after this video. And one of the reasons is the price is very compelling. The builder's DeVoster or Pulte Homes. Pulte is the parent company, and you can get in there less than $1 million. We've had people in the 8s and the 900,000s buy in there, and again, that's right next to Panther National, and you can get a good lot still. When that place first opened, which was going back about the beginning of this year, there was every single lot available. Today there's not, because they're selling pretty quickly. They've had record sales since the beginning of the year. Once they opened their model homes, models were selling rapidly. That is one of the things you need to know when you're working with a new construction community. Once the models open, then sales will ratchet up, and you sort of want to get in early because the best deals are early. Talk about getting in early. There's a new community. I'm going to tell you more about this in a little while. There's a new community coming into town that's going to open in a few weeks. By the time you see this, it will probably be opened. Reach out to our team. I'd love to explain, because you can get in. You'll have when you're in early, you get to pick from all the lots because everything is still available. When you go to like a Watermark and they're just about sold out, there's only so many left, and your buying power, quite frankly, is not as good because you're limited as to what's left. But again, reach out to our team. I think that there will be some good lots available in that new one. And additionally, on that side of Avenir, there's another builder coming into town, one of my favorites. And although they haven't announced, I've heard from good sources who it's going to be, and I understand it's going to be another all-age community. One of my favorite communities in here that's just about ready to sell out, I should say, by the time you see this, it probably will be sold out, is La Thierry. That's a Hovanian Hovanian builder community. What's unique about them is you walk into that builder and you're probably not spending a lot of money on options. They are very lean when it comes to options. They are very generous when it comes to what's standard in that community. There was about 200 homes, and that place is just about sold out. What is left today, as I sit here today, there is one home that came back for sale on the market. It's someone that, the financing fell through. I've been in touch. I've been trying to place that one. And then there's two more, the two last ones, which are basically the parking lot. The parking lot, there's two lots that they're going to turn the parking lot next to the models into homes. And they're on the water. And they're going for, those lots are in the hundreds of thousands. Call our office. I don't want to give the exact amount out here on the video, but call our office if they're still available. I'd love to tell you more about those. Homes in La Thierry, we're going for about $1 million up to $1.6 million. So again, they're on the higher end. I said three master plan communities in our area. There's Avenir, there's Westlake, which is one of the most popular. 1/3 of all permits in Palm Beach County today are coming from Westlake. And the third very big master plan community is Arden in Waxahachie, Florida. Some people would say Arden's in Wellington, Florida. All three of them have different personalities. Arden has one of the nicest resort areas for certain, and it's a little bit small. There's like 2,500 homes in there. All three communities, I'll say that I think you cannot go wrong exploring any of these. If you're wondering about these communities, first thing you want to do is get to know the area, because there is a huge difference between Westlake and Avenir and Arden. And we have developed a thing called hotspots that'll help you explore the different areas. Reach out to our team. Love to tell you a little bit more about what those are. In fact, I'll talk a little bit more about those later. So as you guys know, I've been making videos on these communities and about the towns in our area for years now. I sort of feel that people like it when I go to the AXA community as opposed to doing a green screen in the office. I've done both, and a lot of people just do green screens in the office. Leave a comment down below. Do you like these kind of videos better? Do you think there's more value added when I do them on scene? I'd like to know what you guys think. As much as I love making these videos, there's nothing I love even more than to help you guys find a home in one of these beautiful communities. When we represent you as independent representation, we'll be there throughout the process. We don't just introduce you to the broker and to the builder. We introduce you to, we have a transaction coordinating team that works with the builder to help keep them accountable. Also, do not call the office and or register on their website, because what that does is it sort of puts you in their system, and they will assign you to a consultant, which is not what you want. You want the best consultants working for you. If you come through us, I know the best consultant in each one of these areas. I will help you. I will fight for you to get that. It's one of the things one of the value that we help provide when you're looking at new construction here in our area. So as I mentioned, we've helped a lot of people in this community, and some of them have moved in now, and it's still in the very early stages. So it's a little bit quieter here if you go in these communities than probably definitely when it's going to be. Some of the feedback we've been getting from people that have moved in here, whether through us or people that have who have come here before meeting us, which we get a lot of people that call and say, I wish we met you guys earlier because I would have done this and that different. But regardless of that, both groups, one of the things that some of them find frustrating is that the progress being made on some of the amenities, because the amenities are going to be something here. There's going to be a town center that is going to be one of the nicest town centers in the whole area here in Palm Beach. I can understand being impatient with it. It was supposed to break ground. I think one of my previous videos in one of the other sub-communities, I talked about them breaking ground in earlier in this year, in March, and that didn't happen. So, permitting is a funny thing. They have to work with the city of Palm Beach Gardens, but I'll tell you this, you're probably better off for them not doing it, and I'll tell you why, because there is a better value. Once things like that open up, when that town center opens up over there, prices here will definitely go higher. I've seen this over and over again. When the clubhouse is open, prices go up. When town centers and more infrastructure go in, towns go up. I've had people that have not moved here because of this street right here. This is North Lake and Avenir Drive. To get out of here on a rush hour, it is hard to make that left onto there. It is not easy. And so I've had people who have gone to the builder bound this way and have a very pleasant experience, only to call me later that night saying it's a no-go because of the light here, because it took them like 5 o'clock on a Friday. It took them like 20 minutes to make the left here. I don't blame them from one standpoint. I wish I maybe explained it a little bit thoroughly with those particular people, but I'm explaining it here now. When things like this go in, and they will, there's a ton of planning going in this, and there's a lot of stuff that takes to get a light like that going and permitted with the city. When that stuff happens, this place is going to look a lot more different. The traffic will definitely alleviate itself. One of the cons when it comes to moving to Avenir right now is the fact that there is a lot of traffic in the area. The other street that people are concerned with is down that way. It's called Coconut Boulevard. Coconut right now is closed. When you go to North Lake, it does not go to North Lake. If I was to drive my car down there and take it down, it would end right before North Lake because they're getting ready to open at some point. This is a big selling point for the people up in Avondale. Avondale, they know, because Avondale is the most northern part of this community. They know once that road is open, you can bypass all this mess and you'll be easy access to go north to Avondale and beyond here in Palm Beach and in Palm Beach Gardens. This is going to be a neighborhood for the rich. Mark my words. Palm Beach Gardens has got a nice name to it. There is a lot of good stuff in the city of Gardens. If you go east, like the Gardens Mall, one of the nicest malls in all of Florida. There's downtown at the Gardens. There is and this is what made me think of this, there is an airport right up there, a private airport. So if you are a pilot and you want to take your private jet in to, let's say, Key West or anywhere else in the area, It's really easy. It's really easy access. I really feel that this is going to be one of the super high-end areas in all of Palm Beach and in all of South Florida. Right now, you can get an Avenir for under $1 million. I promise you, at some point in not too distant future, that will not be the case. I remember speaking to someone recently, not recently, but a few months back, many months back actually, who was saying, I saw on Toll Brothers' website that the homes are selling in the 600s. How come you're telling me they're $1 million? Well, in 2018, they were about $600,000. So they were one of the first. Wow, that traffic is something. They were one of the first builders, and they were. That's how much you've seen appreciation here in Palm Beach. I'll put some numbers on here. So around the country, we're in a dynamic here in our country where for years for the last several years, everything was going up in real estate. Now things are some are going down and some are continuing up and all that kind of stuff. So every market is it's very important where you pick. Palm Beach Gardens still, here we are, where a lot of towns are having year-on-year declines at this exact point, because around this time last year was near the high. Palm Beach Gardens is still up 5.5% year-on-year, and they had dollar volume up 80%. There is money coming into this area. Palm Beach Gardens is one of the hottest areas in all of South Florida. So if you have a really healthy budget, I want to talk to the other end. If you have a really healthy budget, I'd love to help you. Panther National, you're going to need to spend about $5 million. I know the people over there. I can put you on a list. I'll help sign you up and get you hooked up with the right people. You get to customize your home from A to Z. You're living on a golf course. So the golf course that's going over there is a membership course. It will be a membership community. It is a Jack Nicklaus signature course. The name of the course is Panther National. Go figure. And I've seen great progress this year on that course. Membership fee for residents is $250,000. They opened up the membership to non-residents recently at $350,000, and it sold out like that. Well, I would say sold out. They sold it so fast that they had to stop sales because they wanted to save it for the residents. So it is selling, even despite that hefty price tag. There are people still paying that kind of money here in Avenir, but also in that area, which is called Panther National. So if you're interested in learning more about Panther National, reach out to our team. One of the other things I've heard people say about this area is it's so far west. It's so far away from the rest of Palm Beach Gardens. This is true. It is the reason people are thinking that right now is because there's going to be a lot of stuff built here, and it's not there yet. The people who live here, some of them are impatient, and they didn't realize it's going to take a little while. It will get there. There'll be a point when the people east are going to come out this way for exactly that. So to give you an idea what the town center is going to look like, there's an area east in Palm Beach Gardens called Alton, A-L-T-O-N. Sold homes there. Coulter's the builder. They have a similar sort of environment out there, community. It's much more urban. There's no gate over there because it's much more urban. This is a gated community. But they have an Alton Town Center, and they are going to be, the town center here at Avenir is sort of it's going to emulate similar to what they see over at Alton. The Alton Town Center, also in Palm Beach Gardens. The Alton Town Center has 18 restaurants, amongst a million other things. So that's what they expect here. Also, I've got to say this. There's going to be a farm over there. The Jupiter Medical Hospital has made a contract to come in here. They're talking about putting a charter school in here. The charter school, it's been announced just recently, actually. It's going to be Somerset. There's a bunch of Somerset academies here in our area. There's one down in Boynton Beach. There's one in Wellington, Florida. Well, they've decided to make the investment here in Avenir. So the charter school here in Avenir is going to be Somerset Academy. The other thing they're going to put here is a hotel. Over there, they're going to put hotel. There's going to be commercial space. So if you are like an entrepreneur, a lot of people that move to Florida are entrepreneurs, and they open their own businesses. There's going to be a lot of commercial space. So if you want to live in here in Avenir and have your office space that way, this is a good area to consider that. So I talked about the clubhouse over there. I'll drop some B-roll to give you some sights of what that's about. It's a little bit quiet now. because there's not a lot of people moved in here yet. People have bought, not everyone has moved in here. Homes take about a year to buy. We have quick delivery homes from time to time. So if your time frame is quick or you have time, either way, we have a way to help you here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. There is just so much to say here. I'm literally just scratching the surface. I talked about the Jack Nicklaus Panther National. Over here, which is the first golf course, it's a public course, and I am told it is the nicest public course in the area. It's called Sand Hill Crane. You can take your golf, like that's Coral Isles back there. If you live in Coral Isles, you can take your golf cart over to the golf course. You don't even have to get on the road. Just take this in your driveway, in your garage, take your golf cart and drive right to Sand Hill Crane, the public course here in Avenir. They were making this a very golf cart friendly neighborhood. That's the idea. The other neighborhoods, I'll say too, the other master plan communities, they're doing the same thing. Westlake is doing that. So is Arden. They're all very, very favorable when it comes to golf carts. In fact, I'll go a step further. At Westlake, I spoke with the mayor. We had a meeting with the mayor a few weeks back. And one of the things that they're doing with the businesses there, if you're opening a business in Westlake, you have to accommodate for golf cart parking. So that's one of the trends here in this area here in Palm Beach. It's very frequent that I'll see golf carts going by because people would rather, once the town center is open, that's going to also be a big thing. It's going to be where you can go from your house in your golf cart right to the town center and everything else that Avenir has to offer. They're building a farm right down there. They're building all kinds of stuff. There's in Regency, I didn't talk much about Regency yet, the 55 and older community. Their clubhouse is more than twice the size of the regular community. It's called the Pearl. It is something super special. They have a golf simulator in there. If you are a golfer and you're 55, that's a place I would definitely consider. So I've done videos on all these communities. I've done videos on Watermark and Wingate and Coral Isles and Avondale. Please check them out. I think Avondale right now is a bargain to get in at those prices. Coming up, like by the time you watch it, it will probably have started. Coming up is a community called Solana Bay. The builder is Akel. I'm invited to see their broker-only event. It's coming up in a few weeks. I'm gonna attend that. I've already RSVP'd yes. And then the following day, we're bringing clients. Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we're bringing clients for a private tour of the community, and that's going to be ahead of when the models open. Again, once models open in these places, it really that's when sales take off. So you want to sort of get in early. The people who get the best deals are the people who get in early to these communities. Solana Bay is a community I would definitely keep an eye on. Reach out for our team. I'd love to tell you more about it. Before I go into one of the other communities that's going to come in here, and the other thing that on the other side of the thing, I want to go into this since I have it. Here's the Avenir CDD. So they say wildlife might be present. So I will get the question all the time, are there alligators there? The answer is yes, there is. They stay away from you. It's one of those things. Florida is such a unique place. If you don't bother them, pretty much they don't bother you. If you have a small dog and he wanders along the lakes, that's going to be a problem. But anyways, if you want to know more about that, reach out to our team. I'll tell you what you should be afraid of and what you shouldn't be when it comes to alligators and other wildlife here in Florida. So the sign says CDD. That is so the way it works here, the HOA, the Homeowners Association, they have all the I'm gonna camera like that for a second. All the sub-communities have their own HOAs, and they're all a little bit different. But they all have a master HOA, which is a relatively small fee. It's like $18 a year. So it's really not a lot of money. But in lieu of that, what they do is they have a CDD, which is significant here. It goes in your taxes. Each community has a slightly different CDD fee. But in all, that's what they're using. If you go to the builder and ask them about the CDD, you will probably get, if you go to 5 builders, you'll get 5 explanations. We understand how it works. Maybe the Coral Isles people explained it best to me out of all the builders, but But there's a reason why they're doing it. It pays for the infrastructure. It is part of your taxes. But if you look at the HOA just specifically for each individual community, it's actually very, very lean and mean. You will have on the other side, when they build the other communities, I'll tell you what the other community is. The other builder coming in, I'm told, is GL Homes. They are a great builder. They did all the canyons down in the Boynton area. They're doing the Lotus Palm down in Boca. They do a lot of 55 plus stuff. If you go up to Port St. Lucie, they're the people who are building Riverland. Well, there's talk that they're going to be, been confirmed in speaking to the builder, they're going to be on that side of Avenir. Once the Avenir gets going, the other side of the community is going to be using a different clubhouse. So there'll be 2 clubhouses in addition to the Pearl, which is the Regency 55 plus clubhouse. So they need to they know that they need to make room for people. Although it's quiet right now when you go to the clubhouse here in Avenir on the existing communities, it will not last that way once this community gets rolling. So I really want to emphasize that Solana Bay, because as I mentioned, it's early. The people who come early are going to get the best deals. They're just opening up now. Then shortly thereafter, later this year, the guidance I'm giving is we're going to have GL Homes in here. Again, if you want to get in on the best deals, get in early. GL does have a history when things get tight of doing controlled auctions. So bear with it. Every time we do a new community, there's a different process. It depends on the environment at the time. Reach out to our teams. We can give you an idea what the process is. It was significantly different, the process in 2021, than it is here this year. But it changes over time. We speak with the builders, and we have our hand, or we keep pulse of what the different strategies these builders are using, and we can guide you in a way that others can't. Coral Isles, Watermark, Wingate, La Thierry, Avondale, Panther National, Solana Bay, GL Homes, Avenir, Paradise here in South Florida.